Disney is in a tough new spot. Gina Carano, you remember her, right? The actress that got ousted from Disney. They ruined her career because, well, she put out some tweets that they didn't agree with around the time of March 2020. She used to have a role in The Mandolorian. So she's an MMA fighter. She's like a really, really talented woman. But she had some values that did not align with where the Disney company was back then, when they were all about DEI and ESG and this, that, and the other, and masks and vaccines and COVID and lockdowns. And so she made the fatal error of also refusing to acknowledge pronouns. And she talked about it actually on Fox back when Tucker was still there. Let's listen in.
When I wouldn't hashtag trans rights and I wouldn't put my pronouns in, like, they kept on it pressuring, and finally I just said, I'm not doing this, like, I'm not, like, what are the pronouns? I didn't even know what people were talking about. I was just not clued in to the pronouns thing, which apparently that's been happening for like 7-8 years now, right? It's been happening.
But no one has ever explained its purpose. What, I mean,
I didn't know.
You're just supposed to know.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, you're a bigot.
Yeah. Well, then I put beep bop boop in my
beep bop boop.
Yeah.
So that, if I'm translating, that just means middle finger to you, right?
That just meant I can put anything I want in my bio. I can do whatever I want. That's all that was.
Because you thought it was a free country.
Yeah, because I thought it was yes.
Yeah, right.
But I was
just trying to follow your train of reasoning here.
Yeah, I just you can put anything in your bio that you want, and the whole meltdown that caused was just, I mean, and then. In
a bad way, or are people impressed? I'm impressed.
No, I mean, it's cool now, but this was, mind you, this was like a year and a half ago. So this was like, I was speaking out about lockdowns, mass vaccinations, and pronouns way before anybody was even like saying a word about it. And so I was
and you couldn't, but you know what? She sued, and she just got at least an incremental win here in her big lawsuit against Disney, after they destroyed her career, because she's saying, look, she had a right to her own political opinions, and that she couldn't, I mean, she's not like the colonel up in Greenland who's saying, I disagree with my commander-in-chief. She's an independent person, and she's like, I'm protected in California to have my independent view on things. You can't actually fire me for that. On top of it, apparently they weren't paying her the same as the guys or something like that. They're trying to get discovery and information on this. And you know what? Disney wouldn't turn it over. They wouldn't turn over actor pay records to her and her attorney. So now the court just came out and said, guess what, Disney, you got 20 days. You got to do this. And her lawyer is saying this about it. While the court's order did not give Gina access to everything she was looking for, it made clear we can seek further evidence on actor compensation if our expert concludes such evidence is still necessary. After we review what Disney produces in response to this order, the court also required Disney to move quickly, giving them 20 days. So this is a good thing. This is an incremental win. It's actually a big win. It's a big win for her because this case gets to live another day. Don't forget, Elon's with her on this. She actually thanked him on X today because Elon is the one that's been funding her lawyer. He said, listen, I'm with you. You can take this on. I mean, he does not like Disney, right? Don't forget the history here. Do you remember back when, this would have been about a year and a half ago or so, or maybe it was 2 years now? When did he buy Twitter and make it X? Shortly after it became X, he was at a CNBC New York Times conference, and he told Bob Iger off to his face because Disney had said, you know what, we're not going to advertise anymore with X, because we're all about the deep state, I guess, controlling X. And now that Elon had it to one of the viewers, you were saying this earlier, the left used to love him until all of a sudden he represented a threat. Elon represented a threat to the system. Bob Iger said, we're pulling our Disney advertising. Everybody pulled their money. And you know what? Elon wasn't having it. Let's go back to that moment. It was great.
There's advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel.
That's how I feel. Well, you know what I like about Elon? He always tells us how he feels. So he's got to be happy today, happy for Gina. She's obviously really, really happy. Again, this still needs to keep moving forward. I mean, she's only asking, I think, for like $75,000 in damages. So that's like sort of nothing. But we might find out a whole lot more once we realize how much everybody else was making. Disney really doesn't like that. I wonder if they're even going to try and settle. They may try and settle because they don't want to have to reveal the pay scale and the differentiation there, and that could be more problematic. So this is a really, really good thing for her, and I applaud her and wish her lots of success. Disney, not so much. We've written on Disney over at 76 Research, my financial research company. My colleague Rob Horton and I encourage you to go take a look at this, especially in this environment, right, where everything's totally crazy. Yeah, gold's on fire, but the market actually went up today. We have some ideas there about some of the things that make sense. So go check out 76research.com. Welcome to use my code word dollar, DOLLAR. Again, this is my company. I started it jointly with Rob, but I wanted to make sure that people had access to good research because there's a lot of bad stuff out there. And there's a lot of stuff where somebody doesn't have full transparency, like they're getting something on the back end. We don't have any of that. It's just Rob and me, and we put this research together. We're pretty good at it. I've been in financial news my entire career, having started at Goldman Sachs and D.E. Shaw. He, on the other hand, was a mutual fund manager for his entire career. So between the two of us, we do know a thing or two, and hopefully we can be of some guidance to you there with our research newsletter at 76research.com.